Hey guys, recording this here on what is it, Friday the 19th. Maybe you're seeing this on Monday at the latest, but want to let you know we are almost sold out for Founder 500 in Austin, Texas here in about a week. It's going to be an amazing event, 500 B2B SaaS founders. I'm looking at the attendee list. There's almost 60 founders with more than 7 million bucks in ARR. It's an incredible group. There's over 100, over 150 with more than a million revenue. It's an incredible group. You don't want to miss it. Grab your hotel, grab your flight, grab a ticket right now. I'll put the link in the bio, in the description here on YouTube. And I think there's only about 3 tickets left. Okay, about 3 tickets left. I'd love to see you guys there. Don't be bashful. Grab your ticket now. Hey folks, my guest today is BanuPrasad. He's a serial entrepreneur, currently the founder and CEO of HBox, a virtual first care platform company that helps customers in 8 US states, and he's growing quickly. They've participated aggressively in the Indian investment ecosystem, both as a venture partner in O'Reilly Ventures and as an angel investor. Banu, you ready to take us to the top?
Yeah, sure. So it's basically my background is I'm
Well, Banu, let me lead here. Okay, let me set you up for success with my audience. So, guys, first
sure.
off, if you want to follow along, the link is hbox.ai.
Yeah.
And so, Banu, start with the platform, right? So, when you say building virtual first care platform, what does that mean?
So we are an end-to-end platform and services company, and we serve clinics across 8 states in US, where we not only provide the hardware and software technology, but we also provide end-to-end care delivery services like clinical care coaches with the billing infrastructure and so on. So basically what we do is we work with clinics, mostly specialty clinics like pulmonologists,
What do you
cardiologists.
mean? Sorry, Banu, you keep using the word clinics. I don't understand.
So they are outpatient healthcare providers. Like if you, these are individual practices or group of physicians come together and create a legal entity that work with the hospital systems. So basically, those are healthcare clinics which specializes in 3 specialty area, which is pulmonology, cardiology, and nephrology. So
I
we
see.
work with these physicians to create a virtual clinic inside their clinic. So what does that really mean is we provide the required hardware and software for their patients and work with them to help them to monitor and manage their chronic conditions. It can
Understood.
be.
So you're selling to physicians that work with hospital chains. You're selling directly to those clinics. When you say hardware and software plus services, if you look at your total revenue from last year, what percent would you say was hardware sales?
So we don't, the hardware is not sold as hardware. It's an integrated subscription model. So we lease those hardware to the patients. So our revenue is all subscription revenue. So we don't sell the hardware as a separate
So when you say the
line.
hardware is leased, what does the hardware, do you have it, by the way, can we see the hardware? Do you have it there near your desk? Can you hold it up?
No, unfortunately, I don't have it right now. But it essentially consists of a 10-inch display tablet, which we call as health pod, that comes with different medical devices that gets attached to that tablet, depending upon the chronic condition that we are managing for the patient. So in case of pulmonologists, it can be as simple as a pulse oximeter plus a spirometer. In case of cardiologists, it would be a blood pressure monitor, and in case of it can be a weighing scale, it can be a blood sugar monitor, and depending upon the chronic condition,
I see.
the common
So just
element is that. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Bonnie, sorry, I want to stay focused on the hardware for a second. Okay, so the HBox Smart Kit I see on your website, which it looks like there's an iPad thing, there's a little thermometer gauge thing, there's a little finger thing to get your blood pressure, I think, and a couple other tools. What does that HBox Smart Kit that I'm looking on your website, what does that cost you to purchase from the manufacturers?
So for us, landed, it comes to close to $200 landed in. So we
Okay.
do, these are customized, even though they are standardized product, it's branded HBox, and we work with certain, so volume commitment and so on. So the total cost for us is around $200 landed.
And what volume did you have to commit to at the manufacturer to get your price down to 200 landed?
So anything between, it depends on the iPad volume versus medical devices. It's somewhere around 3,000 units. at a
3,000
time.
units.
Units at a
Okay.
time for manufacturing.
Oh, what's going on there, YouTube? Good to see you guys. Now imagine this. You love watching these interviews with SaaS founders, but imagine if we took all of the valuation data out from over 2,807 interviews I've done manually. Saves you a lot of time. Well, we've done this. We've built it into the beautiful interface inside of FounderPath. Check this out. I'll show you how you can access this in a second, but you log in, you connect your Stripe account, you see your valuation real time, you can see what it changed over the past 88 days, and even set goals for valuation this year. Now, the secret to valuation is there's many different ways to value a SaaS business. So the reason you're going to see 3 or 4 different valuations inside of your FounderPath dashboard, this is all free by the way, is because depending on who's doing the buying of your SaaS company, you're going to get a different valuation. A VC is going to pay a different valuation. Private equity firm is different. If you're going to do a minority sale, that's different. And if you sell the whole business, that's a different valuation. You can see all those when I hover over here. Right, so the teal is what a VC would pay, yellow is what private equity, and red is if you sold the whole thing outright. Now, what's cool about this is not built off random data. Again, you guys hear these interviews on YouTube. All these data are built from real-time valuation data points founders share with us on the show. So traction, 1.2 million, seed round, 3.7 raise, they sold 22% of their business. Go in here and filter by the event. Maybe you only want to see companies that have sold the whole business. Well, here are a bunch that have been acquired, the valuation and the multiple. Maybe you're going out right now and you're raising your seed round. Well, go in here and look at all this recent seed deals that went down, what they raised, what valuation they raised at, and what percent that they sold. There's never been a larger data set of SaaS valuations than what you can get now inside of FounderPath, and we're thrilled to bring it to you. All right, we're going to go back to the YouTube video here in a second, but if you want to check this tool out, if you want to jump in and sign up, you can check it out for free to get your valuation at this link, founderpath.com/products/valuations. Or if you go to founderpath.com and hover over products, click on get your valuation here, and go ahead and sign up to give it a whirl. Again, all that valuation data live right inside the platform. I hope to see you there. All right, let's jump back into the interview. And how is it $200 landed? I mean, there's an iPad I see in this package. I know iPads just by themselves are $500, $600, $700.
Yeah, so these are, it looks like an iPad. Those are Android tablets, which are customized for HBox. So they come with our built-in software. So they are not an iOS platform. They are an Android.
Okay, same question though. An Android tablet is going to cost just by itself more than $200.
Correct. That's where I meant that we tap into the. My previous venture was in the same space, so we work with contract manufacturers in China to bring down the cost.
So you can get, if you purchase just talk about Android tablets for a second. If you purchase 3,000 units and commit to 3,000 units, you can get your cost for those Android tablets under, $150 a unit.
Correct. That's right.
Oh, wow. Okay. Got it. Okay. So your hardware's 200 landed. That makes a lot of sense. And then what do you lease? You mentioned you lease it back to your customers, the physicians and clients. What's the monthly lease payment?
So we don't, let me walk you through our business model, right? We don't lease hardware separately. What we do is we charge per patient on a per month basis, anywhere between, depending on the volume of the clinic, anywhere between $60 to $79 per patient per month.
Okay. And what does that per patient? Is that number of patients in the system? Is that just the patients that visited that month?
No, those are the patients that whom we have delivered this service with, which includes the hardware.
Okay, my question is, a physician or clinic over a 5-year period might see 1,000 patients.
Correct.
But last month, maybe they only saw 10 patients. Are you billing against the 10 patients or the 1,000 patients?
No, 10 patients, but all those 10 patients would have been given this hardware that they can carry to the patient's home. And this is a subscription that the physician prescribes to the patient for a 12 months period. So if I'm a
physician running a clinic in Kansas here in the US, and I go this month in August and I visit 20 clients in person at their house using your hardware kit, I will pay you for 20.
No. Nathan, you got it wrong. It is that when the patient visits the physician, the patient gets the kit to take it home. It's not
I
the
see.
physician using it. And when the patient gets the kit to take it home, and then they use the kit on a daily basis, and they are remotely monitored. And then we have our care coaches who help them to manage the chronic condition.
I see. So the clinic in Kansas, I'm a
Yeah,
physician. I might
yeah,
see 20 patients in a month. I'm going to
correct,
want to give each of these 20 patients, take to their house this tool
correct,
that you gave me, the HBox Smart Kit, and then you're going
correct,
to bill me $60 me as the clinic, 60 to
correct.
$80 per month per
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 patient.
package or client that I visited, the 20.
Correct, correct.
I see. I
And
see.
and the reason why you would do as a physician is because Medicare reimburses for these services. So Medicare reimburses anywhere between $140 to $200 per patient per month for you as a physician, and we help that process as well. We make the claims, we get the reimbursement for you as a physician, and
I
then
see.
we charge. Yeah.
So last month, how many physicians are paying you at least $1?
So we today on our platform we have close to 100 providers, what we call physicians, and we are generating our ARR right now is 1.4 million.
And so what does that mean? Those 100 physicians, how many clients, like how many kits have they handed out?
So totally it's around 1,800 right now.
Sorry, so 1,800 are out.
1,800. Yeah.
Okay. And so just to be clear, 1,800, you pay $200 a pop. So that's $360,000 for those kits. Where did you get that money to make the initial hardware
So we are
purchase?
initially the seed. There is a 2 round of funding we have done. One is a seed round, which is a small safe note that we raised capital last year, August. And then right now we did a pre-series A safe note as well. So the equity is through safe note. And
So when you
that's how
did the round last year, how much was that for?
that was a safe note. So the valuation cap was 5 million. And this year it is 30 million.
How much did you raise though last year?
It was 750K.
So you raised 750,000 on a safe note pre-seed round at a 5 million cap, and then you raised your traditional seed round this year
Yes, and that's
at
also
what?
on safe note and 30 million valuation cap, and we have raised another 800K.
800K. Okay, that makes sense. Got it. And so if you're doing 1.4 million in ARR today, what were you doing exactly a year ago? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was around 100K. We just started. So the company, the first commercial launch with a clinic was happened last year, April.
I see. So 1.4 million run rate today means you're doing
Correct.
about 115,000 a month in revenue.
Correct. That's right.
1 year ago today, you were only doing like 5 or 10,000 a month in revenue.
Correct. Correct.
I see.
That's right.
Wow. So nice growth. How have you signed up? How have you found 100 physicians in the US to sell to?
Sure, that's an interesting story in itself. So what we have done is we have worked with the initial customers that we acquired through our connects to make sure that they generate revenue through the Medicare reimbursement process. That has led us a strong bond. So all of the 100 providers that we have on our platform is through referrals from existing our customers. So we don't have a single sales person or a team that is going after.
Okay, but Banu, that's not. So how did you get the first customer?
That first customer was through a connect of my previous venture, and we had first 3 customers was through our network, and after that, those customers have referred other customers, and those customers have referred other customers
Okay.
because the value and the business model from our perspective drives that kind of referral program.
Mm-hmm. And if there's 1,800 in the wild today, kits, devices, again, you charge 60 to 80 per month there. Where's most of your revenue growth coming from? Is it one physician getting more clients, or is it adding new physicians altogether?
It's a combination of the both. So what happens is once we add what I call as clinic can consist of multiple physicians within a clinic, right? So once we add a clinic onto our platform and a provider or a physician onto our platform, it takes at least continues to grow the patient, because as you said in your Kansas example, there are 10 patients visited this month, next 10 patients visit next month. So that's an engine that gets kickstarted. And then we add other clinics. So it's a combination of clinics and providers on our platform, which will continue to grow. as well as adding new clinics and new providers. So we have a strong pipeline. As I said, the referral network kicks in, and they refer more, and that adds on to our top line.
One way to ask this question is to look at your net dollar retention. So what is your net dollar retention the past 12 months?
It is pretty much, we haven't lost a single client so far, because it's very simple, because our model is, I would say, still we are early on in the innings, because we are in business only for last 12 months, and so it's very hard to compute those numbers yet. But based on our retention so far, we haven't lost a single customer yet.
Yeah, Banu. So net dollar retention is really asking, it's a combination of have you lost any, but also how much have you upsold, right? So when you look at the customers that you're working with exactly 1 year ago, what % have they expanded by?
Oh, sure. So that's been phenomenal, right? So it's been like, typically the way we measure our business is if you sign up a physician and if they have 1,000 patients in their EMR system for last 1 year, and it takes close to a year for us to grow to enroll their patients, 26% of that. So it's roughly, we add from, it takes for 1,000 patients, 260 patients have been added in the last 9 months. So,
okay, but that doesn't make sense, because if all 100 physicians you're working with have added 260 patients, that's way more than 1,800.
Yeah, that's a great question, right? So most of these patients we have added is in the last 3 months.
I see. So how many patients, how many clinics were you working with exactly 1 year ago?
It's only 3.
3. Okay. Got it. Cool. When those clients signed up, those 3 clinics a year ago, how many patients did they start with? What was the first order they purchased?
The first month was like 20 people.
And what have they expanded to now today? 260?
Yeah, around 200 to 300. Varies on
that.
Yeah.
Tell me more about the team. How many are full-time today?
We are around 30 people.
30?
30.
And how many engineers?
Around 9 people. All are in India. Our R&D team is in India, but the rest of the team, what we call as a customer success and care coaches, which are medical clinical staff, are all based out of US.
Yeah, very cool. And do you have CAC? Are you paying or doing any paid spend to get customers?
No, so far we have been lucky. As I said, we are going through referral programs, and which is basically the existing customer referring other physicians to get onto our platform.
And what dollar volume of Medicaid or Medicare reimbursements have you processed personally through the system?
So far, right now, as I said, for us to generate 120K per month, so we are processing close to 350K per month of claims.
Okay, are all those $350,000 in claims monthly getting accepted and reimbursed?
Yes. That's the reason why we get close to half of it from as our invoice.
Okay, got it. Very interesting. What's the total opportunity here? How many patients are at home where clinics and physicians have to give them this hardware device?
Sure. So that's another great question, right? With 100 providers, we can potentially reach close to 180,000 patients. That's just our installed clinics and providers. But if you look at the overall market size, in Medicare, there are close to 40 million patients with chronic conditions that can be prescribed this solution.
And are you guys profitable today, or are you burning cash?
We are burning cash predominantly because of the upfront growth that we are seeing in investing in the hardware and so on.
Yeah. How much are you burning per month?
We are burning close to, not much, it's around 30K.
Does that make you nervous?
Yeah, and it is nervous because of 2 reasons, right? One is when to raise significant amount of equity that would help to continue to the growth versus kind of managing our equity very smartly. And that's the challenge, because our business, the best part of our business is that we are generating cash from day one. And this is and the subscription model is very consistent for 12 months because this is backed by Medicare reimbursement, and there's a chronic condition that needs to be managed. So there is not so much volatility in the patient population pool. So all those gives a good view into our revenue stream being stable. But having said that, how do we, the equity part, the challenge, to answer your question, the challenge for us is how much to rise through equity versus the growth, and which would give us the optimal return for us as the founders in the long run.
Do you still have 100% of the $800,000 seed round cash in the bank?
We have close to 600K.
Okay. So how many that would mean your runway, what is about 20 months. Are you okay with that amount of runway today?
It's actually, yeah, I'm okay as long as we are happy with the growth. The problem we are trying to solve is to increase the growth, and there is a huge possibility to increase the growth. And hence, we are now internally debating whether we should raise equity capital or through some other debt financing and other routes. Because
if you raise debt, how much would you try and raise?
Close to, and it needs to be paced out. So we are looking at anywhere between 1 to 1.5 million to cover our hardware costs. The real challenge for us is right now we are adding 300 patients a month. And as I said, we have added a lot of new providers onto our platform who have not started the engine. Once they start the engine, that 300 patients per month will go to 1,000 patients per month in next 3 to 4 months, which drastically increases our working capital need. And that's the challenge we are trying to resolve, whether equity is the only way. We are in talks with some Series A health tech VCs as well, but considering the valuations and those kind of things, that is where we are internally figuring out what is the right capital structure for us to optimize as we move
I'd be shocked if you can get a Series A investor today in the compressed market to give you a valuation higher than your last round or your last round cap of 50 million. I mean, that's almost a 25x multiple. You're just not seeing those today anymore. I'd be shocked.
Yeah, but when we raised the 5 million, we didn't have any.
Wait, you raised 5 million?
No, not raised 5 million. When the valuation cap in the previous year was 5 million.
But you just said you raised at 30 million, right? You say you raised 800,000 at 30 million cap.
30 million, correct.
Yeah, it's a 21x multiple on 1.4 million in ARR. I'd be shocked if you find a VC today to lead your Series A that's willing to pay higher than a 21x multiple, considering the compressed market. Yeah,
but the current, we will be reaching close to 3 million ARR by end of this year. So it's next another 4 to 5 months. Because
it's incredible growth, but even that, to beat a 30 million valuation with 3 million AR means you got to get someone to pay higher than a 10x. I'm seeing fast growth companies today not be able to get 10x multiples like they used to 8 months ago. So we'll see what happens. But the nice thing is you've got nice growth and you got 20 months of runway. On that note, Banu, let's wrap up here with the famous 5. Number 1, favorite business book.
How to Make Elephants Dance.
Okay. Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
Elon Musk.
Number 3, what's your favorite online tool for building HBox?
Metabase.
Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
Close to 6 hours.
That's good. And what's your situation? Married, single, kids?
I'm married and I have a 11th grade daughter.
Oh, amazing. And how old are you?
I'm 45.
45. Last question. Something you wish you knew when you were 20.
Yeah, to start the entrepreneurial journey a little bit earlier than where I started. I started around 10 years back, so 35. I wish I did it a little bit earlier. That would have given me.
HBox was doing $10,000 a month in revenue a year ago, now doing $120,000 a month for 1.4 million run rate. They're giving iPads and temperature monitors and finger, pulse monitors to physicians. 100 physicians use their setup hardware, which they then give out. They give out basically to patients who have to stay at home, right? So they can do home monitoring. Currently, across these 100 physicians, they've got 1,800 devices out in the wild. They charge a physician between $60 and $80 per month per hardware set they've given out. But the nice thing is they also help the physicians get Medicaid and Medicare reimbursement for the tool. So it's still net positive for them. They're scaling nicely, raised an $800,000 seed on a safe with a 30 million cap recently, deciding now if they raise more equity or debt to fund an additional tranche of hardware purchases. We'll see what happens. Banu, thanks for taking us to the top.
Thanks, Nathan.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers, they try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.